I was thinking more about it after yesterday's show. Does A.J. Brown really realize how bad they were, and that's why people react the way everyone reacted? I just want to put that. I don't know if I'm asking that question to our audience or if that's a rhetorical question, but I just want to say, like, after the show yesterday, it dawned on me. I mean, for all the criticism that was flying in a million directions yesterday and Sunday and Saturday and Friday after the A.J. Brown interview, it dawned on me, like, does he realize how bad they were? And that's why, I mean, he said in that interview, he wanted host on WIP, he didn't use host on WIP as a phrase, but the media, to be authentic. Yeah, How about this for authenticity, AJ? You guys stunk. And we've talked about that for 2 months. You know why? You ready for this? You guys stunk. So deal with that, dude.
Yeah.
All right.
And sometimes that, in today's world.
So you understand, I had to get that off my chest because I don't want to hear like that I'm going out of my way to cause a problem for the Eagles. I'm reacting to what I saw. We are all reacting to what we saw. Let me say it for a third time. You guys stunk, Eagles. Deal with it. Own it. Get better from it. All right.
Well, you stunk when it mattered most down the stretch.
Well, yes,
and we need that to get ironed out. And we believe that it can get ironed out.
Yeah.
And
I just had to
that's
get
why we're excited about this combine thing.
Yeah, I had to get that off my chest.
All right. It makes sense, Joe.
So anyway. All right, 215-592-9494. If you want to respond to that, obviously, please
they
feel
did
free
stink.
to.
And for some reason, it's like we're not really look, my kids are in a great spot because they're especially kind, because they've been taught to be especially kind in schools. I don't know if like the curriculum is nicer now or what.
Right.
Like that they have done a better job with my kids than I was done with me in terms of making them kind and considerate and generous and nice and just thinking about others' feelings. Like that is really nice. And that is part of what is happening in today's world.
Yeah,
I
softening.
appreciate that a lot. Sometimes the softening goes a little too far.
Yeah.
And I think we're seeing that happen.
I hear you. All right. So as we reflect back on last year and look ahead to this year, we have the always interesting Howie Roseman and Eagles head coach, in this case Nick Sirianni, gathering with the press at the NFL Combine. Combine going on in Indianapolis. It's almost a 1-week affair now. They've really stretched this thing out. And this is the day when Howie and Nick will meet with the press. And I want to hear from everyone at 215-592-9494 on a whole host of issues related to this thing. Like, what do you expect from them? What do you want to hear from them? I'll give you a catch-all question just to tee up thought. Do you expect to feel better at the end of today than you do right now about the Eagles after hearing them speak? I will tell you this out of the gate, John. I don't.
Oh, come
I don't
on,
expect
man.
to feel
Really?
better. No, I don't.
I'm
going to tell you why. Because I think what we're going to get today is a lot of there's nothing to see here. And I think there's a lot to see there.
I think it's so far past there's nothing to see here that they're smart. They recognize they can't try to pull there's nothing to see here. It's just ridiculous to try. No, hey, this is 70 car pileup. I know, like I can't. My body can't block the entire 70 car pileup.
Well, what do you?
There's nothing there though. Like you can't pull that on me.
What do you expect today? And again, I want to hear from everyone.
215-592-9494.
When you think about Howie and Nick today, and it's always fascinating when you get to hear Coach and GM speak. What do you want to hear? What do you expect to hear? John, go ahead.
Yeah, I think positivity is the word of the day, the word of the offseason. This is a group that is not that far off. Think about it. They were 10-1 and celebrated, and then the wheels fell off.
Yep.
And we are trying to figure out how that happened. Now we have an offseason. Our coaches have an offseason to diagnose the other team's coaches. You know, they got back ahead of us a little bit. Now let's let our coaches do that work where they examine the film and they figure out the X's and O's. How do we give our players a better opportunity to be in better position to make plays out there like we hear so often? I expect that this can be a dive in headfirst type of year where our offense, we know that we've got talent coming out the gills on the offensive side of things. You know, I, for one, believe very strongly that Jason Kelce there's a chance, he comes back, and that can really make a difference. That can really help our offense. Think about what we need. It's like a third wide receiver, and that's a luxury item. If Kelsey's back, I feel pretty good about.
Well, they need
the
a running
offense.
back. They don't have what you consider starting running back right now because DeAndre Swift's about to be free agent.
And none of the huge names like Josh Jacobs, Austin Eckler.
No, I don't expect
none of those big guys got franchise tagged anywhere. Saquon Barkley, none of them have major dollars attached to their names. Right now, what we're seeing is a re-establishment of what their number is going to be. We might get one of these guys for cheap. We could get DeAndre Swift back for an unbelievably cheap number two if those guys are all knocked down a few million too.
Well, look, here's the deal. And again, I want to hear from everyone at 215-592-9494 and your expectations for Howie and Nick today. Like, James, as we sit here and, a bunch of hours before they talk later today, what do you expect and what do you want to hear?
So what I expect and what I want to hear are different things. I expect a lot of positivity, to Richie's point. I expect, hey, guys, we were in the Super Bowl a year ago, like, relax a little bit is what I expect them to do. Now, do I expect to make me feel better? Is that what I want? No. I think the biggest difference between, we've heard Howie and Nick speak once since the end of the season, since this whole disaster with all our questions.
Other than Nick's post-game after Tampa Bay.
Right, I'm talking about after he was almost fired, no, wasn't fired, whatever. The whole thing. What was different about that? They were sitting together. This is our first chance to get Howie Roseman by himself without Nick Sirianni sitting next to him. I want them to ask some questions about Nick Sirianni, about why he kept him, about the whole process that's super awkward. I get it. If Nick's sitting there, it's awkward. I get it. I understand that. Nick ain't sitting there, man. Go at Howie. Ask him these questions.
Why do you believe in Sirianni?
Yeah, why'd you bring him back? What happened? How did this all fall apart? You got rid of 2 coordinators. Like, all
you got rid of 3 coordinators.
Yeah, you're right.
I forgot 3 coordinators.
You're right, yeah.
Look, this is a juicy one. I mean, this was a season that, was like 64 Phillies-esque. I mean, do you understand what that means? I mean, this was an all-time Philadelphia sports disaster. And I want these guys to really be grilled today on what the hell happened and what are they doing about it. Now, we know
that is the biggest question. I mean, that question right there is the end-all, be-all
I don't
question.
think it is the biggest
Why
question.
did you keep Nick Sirianni? Like, I would celebrate till the cows come home if we get that answer. That will never be answered directly, but, man, it'd be wonderful to have some inkling.
I think there's 3 different, maybe 4 different potential biggest questions, because that question's certainly there. There's a Hurts-oriented question. There's an AJ-oriented question. But I'll give you the one, John, more on my mind than any. And I don't have, like, the specific question for him, but I'll give you the concept and the topic. It's about team culture and breakdown. Like, Seltzer, what do they say? What does Howie Roseman say if someone asks him, did you have a team culture issue in 2023? And if so, how big was it?
What do I think he's going to say?
Yeah, what do you say?
I think he's going to say, don't believe everything you read in the papers. Don't believe everything you read in the media. That we are the ones in that locker room. We know what's going on, and we have a handle on it, or something like that.
And you know what I'd say back? It was a yes/no question, Howie. Did you have a team culture breakdown in 2023?
No. That's what he's going to say, though.
Now, and see, here's my point. That's where I feel, and this is just my prediction about myself, but you can assess yourself. I expect when this thing's over to be in a worse mood. I'm already in a kind of bad mood about the Eagles. I really am. But I need Howie and Nick to take ownership on this one, John.
This is an exciting time where the offense is close. We didn't talk about the defensive side of things because I think
they got a lot of money
to press you a ton.
They got a lot of money to sign players.
Yeah, we just got $30 million extra bucks under the cap.
So did all the other teams.
Okay, but we have Howie and we have a lot of faith in how we can manage that. I love that boost. Look, Fletcher Cox, there were some differences of opinion that happened. We know that he gave us an incredible year last year, but we're not going to be paying him $14 million this year. Odds are good that he's not coming back.
Well, I don't know about that.
Look, there's a lot of money there also. We can rebuild this defense a lot more easily than what I think was initially perceived by us as a fan base. Because there's extra money.
But all the other teams
Why?
have extra money.
Because we have a smart front office, and there are guys out there to be found and brought in.
Well,
and every year it seems like they've done a pretty nice job with the one-year guys, the older guys. Hey, go prove yourself out there.
Yeah.
Look, Bradbury took a step back last year. That was the outlier. That was the unusual situation where, man, lost a step. We didn't see that coming.
Sure. No,
Howie's usually ahead of these
I'll
things.
say something to what John just said. I do have a lot of faith in Howie Roseman.
Totally.
I do.
I do.
But it just feels like there were issues here from 2023. If I had to guess, they're going to carry over to 2024. But look, we'll get into it all at 215-592-9494. Your assessment of the situation, what you want to hear from Nick and Howie, what you expect to hear from Nick and Howie, and whether you think when you go to bed tonight you'll feel better about the Eagles than you woke up this morning prior to this press conference happening. Your assessment of it all. We'll get into a Marcus Hayes story. We got a cool prize to give you away today. All of it here. Your phone calls 215-592-9494.